I'm very excited to be back here. And Shabbat Shalom to everyone. So, as Rabbi Marta mentioned, I spent quite a bit of time here during my high school years, and that time that I spent with our wonderful community is one of the many reasons that when I graduated from Columbia last year, I decided to take a year off before college and live in Israel for 9 months. I'd never been to Israel before, and I didn't know what to expect with the people, the place, the culture, and even living so far away from home for so long was just incredibly foreign to me. But I went, and it was the best decision I've ever made. Now that I've returned home and had time to reflect on my experience, my biggest and most valuable takeaway is how important it is to savor each and every day that God gives you. This week's Torah portion, Pinchas, highlights that, referring to all days, not just the special ones, as a moed, a special appointed time. Every day of our lives is a chance to learn and grow as a person. Take lessons from those around you. Observe how they hold themselves in the world and deal with others. Explore your environment to gain new world perspectives from the culture and settings you're surrounded with. I learned this in Israel from my best friend, Sasha Keisler. Without her, I wouldn't have realized how precious time is or learned to live my life to its absolute fullest. Together, we explored Israeli culture, meeting and befriending people in coffee shops, on the beach, and of course at the shuk. Talking with so many Israelis and other people visiting Israel allowed us to truly get to know Israeli society and those who care so much about it, as well as just being able to get to know people from so many different backgrounds. The people I met in Israel turned my life view on its head. Coming from the Mapso bubble, anyone who didn't hold a liberal ideology should be shunned in my mind. But now, one of my best friends is a conservative Jew from Westchester. I learned that you don't have to dismiss or discount others for their perspectives, beliefs, and opinions in order for yours to be valid. In fact, having friendship as a platform for discourse with those who oppose your beliefs can make your beliefs stronger and build your confidence in what you believe. I've always been opinionated, but now I have a deeper understanding of why I hold my beliefs and why they're so important to me, especially those involving the state of Israel. I cherish Israel. It's a beautiful place where Jews from all over the world can come and feel welcome. Volunteering for Ukrainian refugees in Israel showed me how strong and considerate the Jewish community is on an international stage. But there are many things that Israel still needs to work on. Speaking with Palestinians and Bedouins about their struggles since 1948 was enlightening and taught me things that I couldn't have learned anywhere else. I learned how they felt about losing land and being surrounded by a culture with different customs from theirs. But still, I found that these people shared many values with the Jewish people, such as community, hospitality, and a long-standing connection to their history. I believe that everyone should be able to live their life the way they choose. Each day is a moed, and everyone should be able to use their appointed time in the way they desire. People have different passions, goals, and perspectives, but just because yours might not align with those of others doesn't mean that theirs are wrong and yours are right. We must always try to see others' perspectives, even if we know we don't agree with them. In my opinion, this is one of the most important steps on the path to peace, not only in Israel, but in our families, friendships, and all over the world. My relationship with Israel has always been confusing and a little complicated, as many people's are. But going from having little connection to this state to now having made my best friends through my experience there, and that experience having shaped my outlook on life, that has brought me closer to Israel than I could have ever imagined. I will always remember the bustling streets of Tel Aviv as being the place where I matured and met my favorite people in the world, and the Jerusalem stone as the backdrop of me learning more than I knew was possible and having experiences I could never have dreamed of. It's difficult to separate that from the politics of the region, but so much of the politics are intertwined with personal experiences, beliefs, and backstories. Not only for Jews, but for so many peoples and cultures who have connected to this land throughout history, just as I did over the last 9 months. I will be eternally grateful for my experience and will carry it with me and the thoughts it has provoked for the rest of my life. Now I will go to Rutgers in the fall. Not only will I use my experience to guide my college journey, I will also use my experiences to teach others about Israel, the conflicts of the region, and Judaism and its values, which are now more ingrained in me than ever. I won't simply mention that I took a gap year. I will explain what I did and how meaningful the experience was to me. I hope to encourage others to have similar experiences that connect them not only to what they care about, but to others' values and perspectives as well. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom again.